gonna see if I can make this in less than 15 minutes. Let me try. So Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Usually we don't know about the people who work in the background. We usually know, the stars are in the limelight. So he's a producer. He's worked with her before, according to Google. I see that both of their Plutos are with his moon. Too much stress on his part. Like he's probably, he feels so much pressure on him to provide her with a family, with a foundation, with nurturing, with care, with all of that. So he's feeling all of that pressure, all of that stress, which, of course, being a moon going into her 4th house, then he would feel a bit comfortable in this role, right? It wouldn't be such a big deal, except that, of course, Pluto will always demand that you transform yourself. So pressure on his mind is clear here. To see her Rahu with certain conjunct his certain, it means that she wants to work with him. She visions him being not only her husband or because they engage, right, but also her work partner for a long time, because this is Rahu going to certain commitment, but is regarding her 6th house of work. Of course, she's got Uranus and Neptune there, and she's in in the entertainment industry, creativity, Uranus, Neptune, all of that. And he's got the same Uranus and Neptune because they born like 4 years apart. So Neptune and Uranus, they move too slowly. And he's got his his Mars as well in this mixture, meaning that he's a passionate person who likes to work too hard. But what I do see, of course, is that her Saturn is conjunct with his Mercury. Here, of course, we are seeing conversations that are very serious when they together, particularly from her side, because she's the Saturnian energy, but because they both in Capricorn. So they talk about work a lot. They talk about serious stuff. They really go deep in their conversation, whereby they stabilize, their dreams and, all of that. So that is good. And of course, the age part, which is not a lot, is 4 years. But we see it, of course. But Benny is older, but because of the Mercury, and meaning that, he takes the the youthful role when it comes to work stuff and all of that. So he's more like the vibey one, the more playful one, whereas she would prefer to be a bit serious and talk about work, focus on work, all of that, right? So he would be the intellect behind her work ideas, and then she would be the channel for that intellectual property from his side, right? I do see, of course, that his Sun and Rahu, they go and conjunct with her 8th house. Here it means that Benny, oh my gosh, would just tell all their secrets, because Sun in the 8th house takes out all the secrets and just highlights them to the world or to the family or to whoever is closer to them. Because of the Sun here and with her Rahu, it means that it would be difficult for them to keep secrets in the relationship, because he would just spill the beans, or he would make her spill the beans, but it is due to his Sun, right? So she's exposed here. her secrets are exposed, her private life is exposed by the sun being here. So it means that we're going to continue to know about her life, her secrets as the time goes due to that sun. It's something that she can't hide because the sun, it just exposes everything. I do see that with his Rahu and the sun, there's some healing that he's helping her to do. So because Rahu, as much as we always tell you guys, is about exaggerations, illusions, lying, gaslighting, all of that, but it is also about healing, because Rahu gets multicorned in Virgo, in the Virgo sign of healing. So it does do healing, but also with sun. Sun is all about healing, is all about bringing life back to you, feeling warmth, feeling better, giving you the vitamin D, and of course it is life. So it really means that he's the vessel to her healing. There's an internal psychological healing that he's helped her go through, and there are private struggles that he's helped her to deal with, right? But it's not been easy, because it's in Aquarius. Sun in Aquarius is not so comfortable, but sun will be sun wherever it sits, right? But because this is Rahu in his own house, meaning that he's been able to really, really help her in all her psychological internal wounding, and even maybe external wounding as well. He's been that person that is like a band-aid, really, right? I do see that she's got her moon conjunct with his Venus, which is a wonderful. It is beautiful. It gives the nurturing, the care that obviously we see. It gives that affection. It affirms, the need to be a family, the need to create together, all right? And it is in Aries in the 10th house, meaning that for both of them, they benefit in terms of their profession. And mostly her in terms of, both of them actually, because in 10th house is also with her fortune. So, that's fortune going up, that's career going up. So it's really just a beneficial conjunction for both of them. Yes, it's in Aries, meaning that it is not easy. It is not easy to navigate, because there's too much passion. And when it's in Aries, it's in a fire sign. It means that at times, these liquid planets, Moon and Venus, they can get burnt out. Meaning that in terms of money, they can easily go overboard with the spending. They can easily just indulge or overindulge. But with them, money is not an issue, right? So it doesn't really matter. I do see that Hermes is with his Chiron. Again, he's continuing this theme of healing wound, because Chiron is the healer, right? So Chiron is here with Mars, the wound itself, or the crack of the wound. And this Chiron, again, he's helping her heal herself. And because it's in the 11th house, he's helping her, to recover within their circle, within their Hollywood, and regarding, of course, their like the gains that she's gaining, and to also advance, you know, her career goals and career wishes and all that, and all those desires. Thank you, boy. And all those desires. So he's like a Chiron to her, like a wounded healer to her, like somebody who's here to heal her, right? That's how it's seeming, you know, their conjunction. But because Chiron must wound first, right? But because this is Mars, so Mars is accustomed to such things, so they could be going on very well, no problem here. I do see that obviously his Chiron is opposite her 5th house of children, meaning that there's some pain that they feel towards the topic of children. And if I remember, Selena cannot have children, right? That's what she said in one of the interviews, if I still remember correctly. So everything is alleged here, right? Because I'm not sure about this part, but because of the Chiron there, it means that, you know, it's a lingering wounding the topic of children here. But remember, there is the desire to have children because their moon and Venus are conjunct, right? As such, I do see that, you know, next year around 33, so because now she's like 32, almost 33 years old, so very soon, you know, around the 33-year mark, so maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months before, or, you know, thereafter, of course, when she's already 33 years old, their need again, the topic about children is going to come through because her progressing Venus is conjunct with her moon and his Venus. Maybe they adopt a kid, or maybe, you know, she's got her eggs, you know, shelved somewhere, so they start the process of that thing, right? And at the same time, I do see that that is also opposite his own moon. So because they have an oppositions of moon, and an opposition of moon for me is not a deal breaker, because it just means that you're feeding off each other's emotions, you're feeding off each other's mental thoughts. If I'm thinking A, you thinking B, therefore you balance my A with your B, right? And of course this is going to be a dance of, you know, always trying to find the middle ground, but in terms of, you know, the children and all of that, it means that, you know, they would find, because I mean they can afford, they would find a neutral solution to all of that, right? Of course, this is the same age when he's around 37, because he's almost just at the 37-year mark, because in March he's gonna turn 37. So with that, for him, you know, his own progressing Venus is going to be conjunct his own Venus, opposite his moon, and conjunct her moon. So, you know, the topic of children and all of that's going to come up. So maybe this is when they also get married, because Venus and Venus, they're gonna want to do what? A Venusian thing, and the biggest thing that they can do is what? Is a wedding. So maybe, you know, next summer, you know, this is when they really get to marry, because again it's opposite Libra sign of contracts, of the wedding, of la 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 la, we're getting you know, the wedding, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. But you know, I do see that in 2026, when she's like around 34, and always, because I calculate by hand, so when I say around a certain age, it means it could be like 2 months, 3 months before, because, you know, I'm not perfect, I'm not a machine, I'm not a software. I calculate by hand, and I'm human. I can make I can make a mathematical error by 1 month or 2 months, so c'est pas grave. It's not that big of a problem. But I do see that then they are progressing Venuses. They're gonna be conjunct. That conjunction of Mars and Chiron, which of course is not really a good thing, because maybe a fight. And just a fight, and but so many it's an explosive fight about family, relating to family, maybe relating to finances, maybe relating to their traditions, stuff like that. But because it's Mars and Chiron, it's just a fight, wounding a bit, right? So the thing is with Hollywood, they don't really most of them, they don't try to stick it out, because there's a lot at stake. So that could be also another battle, because this is a finance house, all of that. And 2027, then his progressing Venus is going to be conjunct with his progressing Ketu. Right. Oh, and at the same time, her own progressing Venus actually is going to be conjunct with her own natal Ketu. So I don't like 2027 for them, and the indications could start in 2026. Right. But then 2029, good year, perfect year, lovely year to mend everything, to heal everything, and to continue their life, right? I do see his Mercury conjunct with her seventh house, like in her seventh house with Saturn and Lilith, indicating contracts that must be signed, because Saturn is binding and Mercury is negotiations, and they are in the house of contracts and all of that. And we do know that they've worked together before, so they've signed some contracts before, but because this is certain, so it's going to continue to want long-lasting contracts together. And now maybe with a marriage, it definitely tells us about a commitment that's a long term, right? And this relationship is not heavy. It's just like normal. I say normal because everybody has their ups and downs, but the big theme that I see of this relationship is that he's here to heal her. He's here to help her heal. And he's like that channel of healing for her, which is a wonderful thing, of course, right? I do see that his Lilith is obviously conjunct with her ascendant, and of course people are criticizing already, saying, oh my God, what does she see in him? Why is she with him? All of that, right? It is because of that Lilith that he's bringing onto her ascendant, because Lilith, remember, is like an owl. It's like a bird of the night. Not everybody likes it, not everybody welcomes it, and everybody doesn't trust it. Some people say it's witchcraft, like so it's like that as well. When somebody's Lilith is coming to attach itself on your ascendant, then you start to get some rejection from the public, because remember, the public is the opposite sign, right? So that's what we see here. Venus conjunct Lilith, so that's her Venus with his Lilith. Usually this indicates an underlying motive, right? But because he said it's her who approached him, right, and who proposed the relationship to him, so it's definitely not his Lilith that invoked this partnership. Looking at the degrees, of course it confirms it for sure. My voice is going again. It comes back and it goes and now it's going away again. I'm losing my voice. La 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 la. Happy New Year. Note, on that note, I'm gonna say thank you and I'll chat to you soon. Be in touch. Ciao.